Hi everyone, this is Jing Amy Feng, immigration attorney from New York City. Today we're going to talk about July 6th, ICE, a new regulation regarding international student taking full online course on 2024. This regulation came out by surprise. Nobody would foresee ICE would have this kind of regulation. Says if you take full online course on 2024, you're going to lose your F visa and you cannot enter US. And if you are already in the US, you are going to depart from the country. We already know Harvard and many other universities, due to the concern of pandemic, they decided they're going to offer full online course in 2024. However, they may have to change their policy based on this regulation because they are facing the situation, they are losing many international students because they could not enter the US or they have to leave the US because of this. Let's talk in detail about how this regulation could impact everybody. First of all, if your school offers full online course in fall to 2020, if you are outside of US, you can keep your F visa and valid service record if you take online course overseas. However, if you are in the United States, you may either change your school who has in-person instructions, or if you want to stay with your school, you have to depart and you have to take online course outside of US. It sounds like reasonable for students who are overseas right now due to the pandemic, but think about what happened next. What if your school later on changes its policy, turned online course to in-person instructions? If you are already outside of the US or you have to depart from the US, at that time you have to enter US to take the in-person instructions to keep your valid F status. By doing so, you have to have a valid F status and then you have to be able to buy a flight ticket, come back. But this is all sounds very difficult from right now because we know a lot of US consular office overseas, they closed due to pandemic. And it is quite likely when you have to re-enter US, you can't get a visa and maybe you can't board a flight. And at that time, you may have to lose your F status, and the worst, you may not be able to graduate from the school. So this is the potential risk we can see down the road. So what if your school offers all in-person instruction in fall? This is great for the students who are already in the United States because you can keep the regular courses and then you can keep your valid F status. However, if you are overseas and if your school offers in-person courses, you may have to enter US before the school starts. The same problem appears because we know a lot of US consular office, they're closed. How could you get a valid F visa to enter US? And we know from certain country, the flight to US is very limited and it's very difficult to board on the fly. And if that's the case, you may have to lose your F status. And some schools in fall, they offer hybrid model, which is in-person and online course combined. The same rule applies to the in-person instruction. If you are in the United States, it has no impact on you. You can take courses online and in-person combined. And for the students who are overseas, you have to come back to US before the school starts to maintain a valid F status. Please keep in mind, if the school offers in-person instructions, you cannot take more than one course online. For the school has hybrid model, you can take more than one courses. But what's the maximum number you can take? No detail. So What I can offer is talk to your school, contact the International Student Office, find all the details and the instructions. Do your best to keep up the best, to keep a good record of F status. And one more issue I want to point out is OPT. So in order for you to be eligible for OPT application, you have to physically in the US as F students for at least 1 year. So for those students who have to take online course overseas, if you cannot accumulate 1 year study in the United States, you may not eligible for OPT application once you graduate from your program. So this is also a potential problem. You have to think about it. And we know a lot of schools, they change their educational plan in fall because of this regulation. They offer some in-person instructions, and they have to open the school in fall, even the pandemic is not getting any better. So the whole regulation actually put a lot of people's health at risk to force those schools to open in fall. So we're not talking political reason behind it, we just talk about whether this comparatively safe for everybody to do this. Keep a good record and talk to your school and see if the school can offer any policy change to get around the rule. And we already know Harvard and MIT sued USCIS to the court, and many colleges are considering joining the suit to challenge this rule. If everything goes well, we may see a judge's injunction of this order and then wait for the judge's determination whether a public notification processing should be offered in this kind of rule, because it impacts tons of educational institutions and also millions of international students. If you like this video, if you think this give you any help, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe for our channel. We will update with you of any new status here. Thank you very much. Be safe.